Hello everyone. In this video, let us learn share capital, different types of share capital, and what are the various procedures for issue of shares. In previous video, we have learned shares, types of shares, shareholders, and company's features. And that previous video link has been as given in description. You can check. So we know that share capital. So share capital is nothing but share capital share capital is nothing but the total amount collected by company through issuing shares. So here what company does, company will issue shares to the public. Company will issue shares to the public, and public will subscribe that shares and pay amount to company. Company issue shares to the public and public pay amount to company. That total amount paid by public to the company are collected by company is called as share capital. Then let me tell you, if you are issuing shares, amount collected by like equity shares, if you are issuing, then amount collected through equity shares, those are called as equity share capital. And if company is issuing preference shares and amount collected through that, we call it as preference share capital. Then let us see what are the various types of share capital. Types of share capital here. Types of share capital. So we have different types of share capital. In that, first one we have registered a nominal share capital, nominal capital, and it is also called as authorized capital. Authorized capital. So first type we have registered capital or nominal capital or authorized capital. See, registered nominal or authorized capital is nothing but it is a maximum limit. It is a maximum limit where company can raise its fund. So it is a limit where company is permitted by the registrar of the company, and it is a limit where MOA, in memorandum of association, that is that is memorandum of association, under capital class it is mentioned. So each company will be having memorandum of association. In that we have different classes, that is in capital class this limit is included. So recorded, it is a maximum limit where company can raise its funds through issuing shares. So that maximum limit permitted to company to raise funds, that amount we call it as registered or nominal or authorized capital. For example, I am permitted for 1 lakh rupees. Let me take 1 lakh rupees of capital. So my register office gives me permission to raise 1 lakh rupees. So this 1 lakh rupees we call it as what? Registered capital or authorized capital. Then what I do, out of this 1 lakh rupees, presently I am starting my business. I know I don't want 1 lakh rupees. For example, till 2 years I may require just 80,000 rupees. Now what I do, so I will not go for issuing 1 lakh rupees worth of shares. I will just issue only 80,000. So out of your authorized capital, the actual amount of share capital or actual value of share capital shares you are going to issue to the public is called as issued capital. So second one we have issued capital. Issued capital that is actual capital, actual value of shares you are going to issue to the public, issued to the public, issued to public is called as issued capital. Out of 1 lakh rupees permitted, I am just issuing 80,000. That 80,000 is called as issued capital here. Then what about remaining 20,000? See, this 20,000 I did not issue, so I am keeping with myself. Then that 20,000 is called as what? Unissued capital. Unissued capital. So out of 1 lakh rupees, that is authorized capital, I am just issuing 80,000 worth of shares to the public, then it is called as issued capital. Then remaining 20,000 I am not issuing to public, then it is called as unissued capital. Then of course we know that if my company is reputed, just like a TCS, Tata Motors, then everyone will ready to purchase, LIC India, then everyone will be interested to purchase. Let me take one new company is there, that is ABC Limited, and which is unknown to everyone. Then if I am issuing also, there is a probability of not purchasing my shares. For example, I issued for 80,000 worth of shares, but public only purchased, let me take 50,000. So 80 out of 80,000 issued shares, public is purchasing, means subscribing 50,000 worth of shares. That 50,000 we call it as subscribed capital. Subscribed capital is nothing but the actual purchase by the company or subscription by the public. Actual purchase from the public or subscription from the public is called as subscribed capital. Then what about remaining 30,000? Out of 80,000 issued capital, only 50,000 is purchased. Then this 30,000 remaining is called as unsubscribed capital. Unsubscribed capital. So which means 30,000 is not purchased by public. Purchased by public. Then so out of 80,000 issued capital, only 50,000 is purchased, means subscribed by public, that is called as what? Subscribed capital. Remaining 30,000 is not purchased, that is called as unsubscribed capital. Then after purchase, after subscription of applications, what we do? We are going to ask them for payment. So we are going to call, for example, out of this 50,000 worth, I am going to call for example, let me take 40,000. So 50,000 worth of shares applications they subscribed or purchased. Now I am going to ask for payment. I am going to call to make the payment. Then it is called as what? Called up capital. Called up capital. So I am asking for payment. To make the payment, calling for payment. Calling for payment. So 50,000 shares public subscribed or purchased applications. Out of that 50,000 worth of applications, I am asking public to make the payment of 40,000. I am calling them or asking them. Then that 40,000 will become what? Called up capital. Then out of 50,000, 40,000 means remaining 10,000 balance is called as what? Uncalled capital. Uncalled capital. So out of 50,000, immediately I am asking to pay 40,000, remaining 10,000 later. After certain days I will ask, till that this 10,000 will become uncalled capital. Immediately I am asking to pay 40,000, I am calling public, then this 40,000 is called as called up capital. Then out of that 40,000, public may immediately pay 30,000 rupees. So I am calling them to pay 40,000. This is called as called up capital. But out of this 40,000, they are paying me 30,000 only, and remaining 10,000 they are not paying. This 30,000 whatever they paid, this is called as paid up capital. Paid up capital, this is the actual amount will show in balance sheet as a capital or share capital. So last type we have here paid up capital. Paid up capital, which means it is the actual amount paid by public to the company on the subscription. Actual amount paid. Actual amount paid by public. Paid by public to company. And the remaining 10,000, even though it is called to pay, it is not paid. This is called as what? Calls in arrears. Calls in arrears. So, registered or nominal capital or authorized capital is nothing but it is the maximum limit of capital amount which is mentioned in MOA, Memorandum of Association, and it is the maximum limit permitted to company to raise the funds. Then let me take here 1 lakh rupees. I have taken example. Then out of this 1 lakh rupees, they are issuing only 80,000 presently required. Then so issued capital is the part of the authorized capital, where company issued to public for subscription. Then this part of the capital, that is out of 1,80,000 is called as issued capital, and remaining 20,000 worth of shares we have not issued, then it is called as unissued capital. Then out of this 80,000 issue, only 50,000 worth of shares are subscribed or purchased by public. So subscribed capital is nothing but part of issued capital, which is purchased or subscribed by the public. Then that is 50,000 out of 80,000. Then that 50,000 worth of shares which is subscribed is called as subscribed capital, and remaining 30,000, even though we issued, the public did not subscribe, this is called as unsubscribed capital. Then out of this 50,000 purchased applications, we are asking public to pay immediately, that is 40,000, that is called as called up capital. So we are calling for payment from the public side out of this subscribed capital. So that is called as called up capital. Remaining 10,000 we will ask in future, till that it will become uncalled capital. Now they have to pay 40,000 rupees. Then out of this 40,000 called up capital, public paying only 30,000 rupees immediately. So whatever public is paying are paying 30,000, that is called as paid up capital. So it is the paid up capital is a part of called up capital which is paid by actual amount paid by public to the company. So this 30,000, that is paid up capital, will be shown in balance sheet as a share capital. Then remaining 10,000, even though we called for payment, they did not pay. This is called as calls in arrears. Very important topic for 2 marks here. Calls in arrears is nothing but it is the actual amount is not paid by public to the company, though amount called by the company for payment. Then these are the various types of share capital. So we know the types of share capital. Let us see what are the various stages for issue of shares. That is Stages for issue of shares. Issue of shares. So we have four stages actually. First one we have issue of prospectus. Issue of prospectus. Second one, application stage. Application stage. Next one, allotment. Allotment. And last one, called up capital. Called up stage of first and final call. Call stage, that is first and final call. Final call. So these are the various stages for issue of shares. If you want to issue shares and if you want to collect the money, we can't immediately collect it. We have different stages. First one, we have issue of prospectus. See here, prospectus is nothing but invitation. It is just like a invitation. For example, if there is a marriage, what we do, we are going to give invitation card to our relative to attend the marriage. Like that, whenever we are issuing new shares, company issues prospectus, means invitation to the public. So it will go to inform public that it is issuing shares and it is asking public to subscribe. Invitation for subscription. For subscription means purchase of shares. That invitation is called as prospectus. So if you are a new company, if you are issuing new shares, if you are not informing your prospective public, then your shares will not be purchased. So that's why first you need to inform your public about your new issue. So that invitation is called as prospectus. After that, what you do, you're going to issue applications. For example, just imagine we have only 2000 shares, and if our company is well reputed, then what public do? So even though 2000 shares are there, so many people they will come, and we should know how many people are ready to purchase. For that, what we do, we are going to provide applications. There we are going to collect information from prospective public, and we will receive money at the time of application. That money is called as application money. Application money. And this will be collected through bank. So our bank balance will going to increase because of receiving application money. Then, so just imagine we have received totally 3000 applications. So we issued 3000 applications to public even though we are having 2000 shares, which means this is called as oversubscription of applications. Now, so though our applications are sold more than the shares, we can't issue 3000 because we are having only 2000 shares. Then what we do, we are going to allot these 2000 shares to 3000 applications. This process is called as allotment. And whatever amount you are receiving on this stage, that is allotment stage, is called as allotment money. Allotment money. So here also we will receive through bank, so bank balance will be increased. At the time of application, if you are receiving money, that is called as application money. At the time of allotment, if you are receiving money, that is called as allotment money. So whatever available shares we are having, we are going to allot, we are going to assign to the number of applications. That process is called as allotment. Then after that, for example, one share value is, let me tell you, 10 rupees. Let us take 10 rupees. So this is called as face value of share. So we will not collect this entire 10 rupees in a single installment, in a single shot. So what we do, we will receive, for example, 2 rupees at the time of application, 3 rupees at the time of or else 5 rupees at the time of allotment, and remaining 3 rupees at the time of call money of called up capital, that is first and final call. So though share value is 10 rupees, we will not collect in a single shot. We will receive in a different stages, that is called as stages for issue of shares. So application stage, we will receive certain money, that is called as application money out of this face value. At the time of allotment, we will receive part of face value, so that is called as allotment money, and remaining balance amount we will receive at first and final call. So this 3 rupees at the time of first and final call we will receive, that is called as call money. So 2 plus 5 7 plus 3, so totally 10 rupees share value will be received. So these are the various stages for issue of shares. If your share value is 10 rupees and you are issuing at 10 rupees, that is called as par value. Par value, which means your face value of share is equal to your issue price. Issue price, par value is nothing but face value of share is equal to issue price. Your share value is 10 rupees and you are issuing shares at 10 rupees. It is equal to your face value. It is called as par value. In case your face value, so your face value is, so your is less than the issue price, which means, for example, if your share face value is 10 rupees but you are issuing at 12 rupees, which means issue price is more than face value, then it is called as premium, issue at premium. So your share face value is 10 rupees but you are issuing at 12 rupees, which means issue price is more than your face value, then it is called as issue at premium. In case your face value is more than your issue price, which means your share price is 10 rupees but you are issuing at 7 rupees, then it is called as issue at discount, where issue price will be less than the face value. So face value is 10 rupees but issue price is 7 rupees. Issue price is less than the face value, then it is called as issue at discount. But for new shares in India, it is not permitted. You can issue your shares at par value or premium value. So these are about theory part of accounting for share capital. In next video, let us learn 12 marks question, that is journal entries for accounting for share capital. Thank you.